lecture on numerical methods for partial differential equations. If you don't already know me, well, you met me on Friday. My name's John. Those of you who did graphics last year, or perhaps MATLAB in the first year, or have also met me. I'm the unit leader for this unit, and I'll be taking you for the lectures and for the tutorials in the first term. I'll hand over to my colleague, Dr. Lin Quinn, who will be taking you in term 2. Okay, so obviously there's our details. What have you. Okay. Hang on a sec. Just gonna. Oops. I've just noticed that that's the old. Give me 1 second. I've updated the slides since then. I don't want to show you the old slides. Give me 1 second. Hopefully I haven't got. Oh, great! They're the old slides. Right, because of the fire alarm, I think I'm good. Okay, I just have to push on with it. I did have more updated slides than this, but I'll just push on with it. Okay, so that's me and that's Ling. So I'll be taking you for term 1. Ling will be taking you for term 2. Okay, how is teaching and learning going to be achieved? 1 hour lab tutorial. It says Monday or Fridays there. That was last year's slides. The lab tutorial is on Wednesdays and Fridays, so half of you on Wednesday, half of you on Friday. With the labs, I don't mind which ones you turn up to, and I don't mind if you turn up to 2, as long as you turn up to at least 1. Okay, so I'm fairly flexible in that respect. So obviously I don't want you all turning up to the same lab unless there's enough machines there. Okay, so if you want sort of a double dose, feel free to turn up to more than 1, provided there are enough machines.
When are they?
When tomorrow, 12 to, is it 12 to 1? And Friday, 10 to 11, is that right? Yeah. What I'll do is I'll update those times up on Moodle then. And also 1 2-hour lecture. Last year it was Tuesdays 4 till 6. This year, obviously, it's 2 till 4. I'm not going to talk about this one because I think between the two of us, John and I sort of did this one to death on Friday. A bit of a tip. I've given you all the notes for term 1, and Ling will be doing the same for term 2. And in those notes, you'll see there are on page V or 5 of the preamble. There's a teaching schedule. Okay, so you'll know what each lecture will be covering. So what it would really help is prior to the lecture, just have a bit of a skim through the chapter or the sections which we'll be covering. When I say skim through, you don't have to fully understand it. So don't feel the need to read it and fully understand it. That's what the lectures are for. But it does help just to be a little bit familiar with the material. Okay. With the lab tutorial exercises, I'll explain a bit more about them in a minute, but it's always better if you do the lab exercises before coming to the lab. Okay, so you should come to the lab ready with questions for me, rather than starting a lab, getting the lab sheet out, going to the first question, and then attempting it. Sometimes that's not possible. For example, the first lab's tomorrow, and I haven't even given you the first lab sheet yet. So sometimes that isn't possible, but that's sort of how things should really run. And this final one, ask questions. Okay, when I'm lecturing, I don't mind and I encourage you to actually ask questions. There's no point me standing up here for a couple of hours on a Tuesday afternoon lecturing at you only to realise you didn't understand something I said in the second minute. Okay, so please do ask questions. There's no such thing as a silly question. Likelihood is if you have a question, so most of the rest of the class probably have the same question as well. Okay, Okay, so please do ask questions. And I'll probably be asking questions of you, am I going too fast, am I going too slow, etc. Okay, summative assessment. Basically, summative means this counts towards your unit mark. Okay, so the summative assessment is 30% coursework, 70% exam. Okay, and the coursework will be handed out at the end of November. End of November 2016. This date may be slightly different. Like I said, these slides haven't had a chance to update themselves because of the fire alarm. Okay, and the report is to be submitted instead of the 24th. I should say the 3rd of February 2017. So your coursework assignment is handed out end of November and it's in at the beginning of February. So if you think about how long you have, you've got plenty of time to do that assessment. There's a bit of scary thing in bold. If you do submit even a second late, we can't mark it. Okay, new regulations. So don't submit anything late. If you think you are going to submit something late, tell me. Okay, there are workarounds. Okay, I'm not going to give you an unfair advantage. Okay, but if, for example, the dog ate your laptop or something like that, let me know. We can sort something out with regards to exceptional factors. Okay, so that's very important. The coursework assignment is submitted online. So I've set the deadline as 11:59 on the 3rd of February. So you can submit it if you want on 11:58. Please don't do that. Okay. You never know when your broadband connection is going to go down. Okay, so get things in way before the deadline, just so that there could be a citywide power cut, and if you don't get it submitted, it's tough cheese. Okay, tough cheese. I don't know what I said. Okay, the exam. You're well used to exams by now. You've gone through a couple of years of them. 3-hour exam in the summer. Kind of unusual for our courses. There will be a total of 6 questions on the exam. You've got to answer 4 of those questions. 4 questions will be from the term 1 content, and 2 of those questions will be from term 2 content. We'll give you plenty of practice with these past paper questions. So don't worry about that. To be honest, I don't really want you worrying about the exam yet at all. Formative. Okay, summative means it gets marked. Those marks go towards your unit mark and therefore goes towards your degree classification. Formative assessment is that assessment that doesn't go towards your unit mark. Doesn't mean it's not important, especially for this unit. Now, the formative assessment for this unit is giving you practice for the coursework assignment. With the coursework assignment, I'll give you a task. And you go away, you apply your learning, apply your knowledge to that task, and I'm also getting you to write it up as a mini paper. Okay, it's not usually about 6 pages. That's quite difficult. Well, what's difficult is not the actual calculations and not doing the task. What is difficult is writing up. Okay, so that's why I'm giving you practice in term 1 of doing that. Okay, so the whole point of the formative assessment in the first term is to give you practice with the coursework assignment, which is handed out at the end of November. Okay, I'll do 3 of them. Okay, so rather than giving you a set of exercises to do each week, I'm going to give you a total of 4 lab sheets this term. Now, the first one is for tomorrow and Friday. That's just sort of for this 1 week only. From next week, you'll be working on lab sheet 2. Okay, and what you do is there'll be a series of tasks. You write them up in a short report, and you submit it to Moodle. Okay, remember, this is sort of your lab exercises. You submit your work to Moodle, and what happens is your work gets distributed to 3 of your peers. So 3 other students in here, totally random. Okay, and they'll assess how well you did. Okay, this is called peer review. Okay, when we do research, what we do is we go away, research something, and then we write it up in the form of a paper. We send that paper off to an editor of the journal, and the editor will send it off to our peers, so other researchers in the area. And they'll read our paper to see whether it's good or not. If it's rubbish, they'll say, no, this is not worthy of publication. But if they say, okay, this is good enough, then it gets published. So that's what we're doing here. We're feeding some of that peer review into your lab exercises. So what you do is you'll write your report, and these reports are short. They're only no more than 3 pages. Okay, you'll submit it to Moodle. After the submission, you'll each get 3 reports to read, and then you can grade them on various categories. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm afraid. My apologies. We will. No. We're coming back here. We will come back here. Hopefully, it won't be that long.